Welcome to another edition of the vlog. So this is my training vlog. Today we're going to talk about what happened this week, but before we get into that, I want to talk about what happens after you've taken a break. Let's say you did a vacation. In my case, I was sick last week. So this week coming back, it was important that I set my standards and my goals for myself a little bit lower than what they should have been. So I didn't come back into training swinging for the fences, trying to hit really heavy weights. I came back a little bit slower, and it wasn't perfect, but it was good, because there is no perfect training in the real world. And so you just sometimes have to settle for what you can get on the day. And we'll talk about how my Monday went. But in general, if you've been away and you've been on vacation, it's really important for you to take time to slowly ramp back up into training. Oftentimes in the gym, I see people, they come in after 2 weeks of vacation, eating lots of food, sitting by a pool, and they try and make up for that. They try and, pay for their sins or whatever. And every time it kind of backfires, and they don't get as much out of their training as they could. They get super sore, they get really tired really fast, and it's not enjoyable. So set your expectations a little bit lower when you're coming back after a break, and it'll greatly improve your training experience. Today I am drinking a beer from Braufaktum, and it's a really good brown ale. Okay, so to start off with, I had some clean and jerks. Things weren't clicking right away, and that's okay. Once I got further into my working sets, when I was doing stuff that was a little bit faster, catching a little bit higher, that made a big difference. And trying to really focus on keeping the bar closer to my body so that the squat was a little bit lighter on my legs. Then we got into my squats. Now this is where I could really feel the few days I had off. The bar felt extremely heavy. I had a problem, as you can see, with my hips shifting back. I need to focus on staying in my quads. As soon as my hips shift back, I start squatting really slow. I'm forcing my back to do most of the work instead of my legs. And that's where I actually am quite a bit weaker than if I focus on staying in my quads. So due to this set being so heavy, I did drop sets after that with lighter weight, really trying to focus on my technique, stay in my quads, keep my chest upright. And I was much happier with my technique in my drop sets than I was in my top set. On Tuesday, I got into some bench. I was really happy. I got 6 reps with 110 kilos. This is a PR for me, I think. I think the best I did with 110 before was 5 reps. So it's interesting how this time around, 6 reps, it felt manageable. It was heavy, and I did 3 sets with it, only failed on the last set. And then I got into my push press with 90 kilos. Again, that was super heavy. I had to do a drop set after that. I couldn't do more sets of 90 after, but it was an improvement, and my press is getting much, much better. I feel very confident with the bar overhead. Went after my chin-ups. Then we had my landmine rows, as usual. Those were good. And also on my upper body day, because I missed my single leg work, I did it on that day so that I could kind of make up for missing that. Thursday I had some snatches. Again, they felt pretty foreign. Things weren't totally clicking, and I was letting my hips slide back much more than I want to. The reps that I really liked, I focused on keeping my hips low until the last second, and that made a big difference in the consistency of the lift. I threw in a little bit of extra leg work to try and prep myself for this coming week. So I did I did 6 reps back squat right into 6 reps front squat, and it was my first time playing with this. I was amazed at how pumped up my legs got. It was really, really rough. So if you're ever looking to try and develop more leg strength, I highly recommend you play with that. With the deadlifts, my hips were rising much faster than I would like. I need to keep them low and try and press into the ground through my quads a little bit more. I was still happy with this. This is 4 reps with 170 kilos. So things are set for me to do some bigger weights later on, which I'm pretty happy about. I was super excited on Friday. I did 6 reps strict press, shoulder press with 70 kilos. This was a PR. This was huge for me. I've never done anything like this. My pause bench also feels really strong right now. And then I finished up with some pull-ups, some bar rows. This exercise is so underrated, highly recommend it. And then my kettlebell presses and my dumbbell rows to finish off the training session. So that recaps my week. Big takeaway from this is make sure that you set your expectations to where you're realistically at. Don't try and overshoot. Don't try and do more than you can when you're coming back after either a short break or a long break. Try to slowly ease yourself back into your training, and it'll make for a much better experience. It'll be more positive if you don't have these huge expectations on yourself. All right? If you like the video, subscribe if you have a YouTube account, and I look forward to chatting next week.